mayors that are here, and to my dear, dear friend, Mayor Johnny Ford, he is, I mean, it is both of us are toddlers when we met. So that I can say it's been decades, so you will not calculate our age. But it has been, of course, he is years older, but I was 2, he was 10.
Okay. I was 2.
But this work that he has crafted by bringing you all together is stupendous work. But we have tried to preserve in the historic, this was Freedmanstown, this was Logan's Run. There's so much history here. This is where the cobblestones are here, the bricks that were laid by freed slaves, Bethel Church that almost burned down, that now we have remained as a framework. But as you can see, even in the housing design, it is only because of the community here that has fought to make sure that we can at least frame anything that is rebuilt to come in the framework of our ancestors. But what do I want to say about the black spots, the black places, our history? It is if we do not preserve it. I am entrenched in our history. I'm entrenched in the slave narratives that explain what it was like to pick cotton and to get up at 3 in the morning, not be partying until 3 in the morning, tipping into the house at 3 in the morning, but actually getting up for the master to tell you and to beat you when you could not understand how much he wanted you to make by the end of the day. I read a slave narrative and she indicated he beat me when I asked the question about how much did I need to bring in, and if I didn't bring in, I got beat again. We don't sense that kind of history, that we should touch and anoint those places that these folk walked. And they're all in your respective cities and towns, villages, urban and rural. They are all precious in his sight. That is why I have no shame in the United States Congress. You have pressed for 10 years. 10 years. I love Opal Lee. She is the grandmother. I'm the godmother of Juneteenth. Because it's our legislation. The girl from Texas, the 18th Congressional District, that wrote that legislation, introduced it, and it became law when the President of the United States signed it. And the idea of Juneteenth, the idea, Mayor Ford, was not to have it narrowly captured in Independence Heights, as Tanya has worked for us to know that history of that great city. And it's a city for me, because it's the first African American city. But it is, that holiday is not for folk, well, I don't like that, they're drinking soda pop. No, you are narrowly thinking. That holiday is an expansive holiday for cities that are led by black mayors across America and others to be able to put on the biggest extravaganza, to bring in economic dollars, engine. You can create whatever you want. That's a holiday for your people. You can make it. You can go from banquets to sales to selling cars to parades, all driven. You can make your city a destination site. You can say there will never be a bigger Juneteenth than at so-and-so city, led by Mayor so-and-so. You can have people coming down. I can assure you, you watch it, my friends. The first year, CNN had an extravaganza in Los Angeles. Big, gigantic concert. You can be assured the advertisers paid and they made money. Don't give short shrift to telling history and honoring Juneteenth. It's a gift to you all. It is about these spots. You can make Juneteenth your historic markers. Then our grave sites must be honored and cherished. Because so many of them were there and we ran over them, the weeds grew, we didn't know they were there. And I'm grateful to the communities that get up and clean those graves. Emancipation Trail, you never heard of. But we are writing the language and fighting to establish a Emancipation Trail, Mayor Ford. My legislation with John Cornyn to go from the place where Captain Granger announced the Freedom Order number 15 in Galveston, all the way up these small towns that you all have come from, to include Freedmanstown, 3rd Ward, and I got that last minute amendment, Independence Heights. Couldn't leave them out. And that is going to be an economic engine. There are tens upon tens of thousands who like to come and research. They'll spend money, they'll be in your hotels. Make your cities, mayors, make it a research place. Find something historic so that the anthropologists will come, the big universities will come. Oh, we've got to get down to Mayor Ford's town. We've got to get to Tuskegee. We know that. We've got to get down to this town and that town that you are mayors of. Make your own history that is real and truthful. You have to understand the synergism of W.E. Du Bois and Booker T. They were two peas in a pod. They were collaborators. They knew that ones who could not do more than put their buckets down and work with their hands were as deserving as the talented 10. And so Tuskegee, thank you for lifting them up to be millionaires because they took their hands and they built. Just think if we had gotten 40 acres and a mule, my friends, we would have been conglomerates. We would have got that 40 acres and we would have maximized it to 200 acres and you would not have seen it. So my bill, John Conyers, your dear friend, introduced it in 1989, 1 year after the American Civil Liberties Act that compensated the Japanese, rightly so, that were interred in World War II. We supported that when that passed. Reagan signed the bill. 1990, John introduced H.R. 40 acres and a mule, the commission to study slavery and develop, we modified it, we amended it, and developed reparation proposals. Do not put your bag on your hand talking about, oh, we're not going to get, no. Take the analytical analysis that I've looked at, and the trajectory of your slavery is penetrating into your community today. In health, psychology, sociology, and wealth. Today, a family of 4, average African American, 17,000, to an Anglo family, a white family of 177,000. I don't have a grudge. I'm not angry. I'm just busy. To be able to look at the systemic response in healthcare, in keeping HBCUs open, in dealing with research in our institutions, in housing, in taking away the barriers to young families getting housing in our neighborhood. I have written the chairman of the Federal Reserve, and I think it's a darn good letter to Chairman Powell. I said, you are hurting my people with raising the interest rates. Oh, my savings might get a little bit more, but I can't even get bread, and I can't go get an old rickety car, and I can't go get a house right now because you are raising the interest rates out of panic. When my unemployment is low, let it ride for a minute. So if you are letting my money be less because I can't rehab my house or I can't buy another house, or the interest rates are too much on a loan for my small business, then I'm not being helped. But that's the wealth that we have to address, and now we're in this mix, and you can be assured our wealth divide is even more. So the idea of this commission is to assess analytically with the kind of research that says what has been the impact today. What happened to the GIs who never got the GI Bill because they went south and they didn't have it? What happened to the domestic workers who never got Social Security under Franklin Delano Roosevelt? You have to understand. And so you inspire me. I simply want to say that I'm entrenched in this thing called history and who we are. And I believe it is a benefit to America. When we lift our boats, their boats are obviously riding. And when we tell our stories, when we tell our truth, it is a truth that America needs to restore and heal and repair. So I need your massive support on H.R. 40, the Commission to Study and Develop Reparations Proposals. We're asking the President, Mayor Ford, to write an executive order so that we can get it done, because we have the votes in the House, but it is challenging in the Senate. And many of you should look up Senator Tuberville, who made the most ridiculous statement. And you should all tweet about it. Because it insults one, it insults all. And he put the word BS in the middle of maligning what reparations are. How dare he? So I'm going to end. You got dinner or you're going to dinner. I just simply want to say I had to get by here. I said, oh, I've got to go to see all of you and to welcome you to the 18th Congressional District. This is still in my district. Historically, from Barbara, Georgia, went to church here at good old Missionary Baptist Church. Kind of relocated, but the heart of the family is still here. And this is in my DNA, Freedmanstown, 4th Ward. And you are honored us at the Gregory Lincoln School, which I provided $2 million to get it off the ground. And I am excited. I love you all. I'm so honored, Mayor Ford. It is an honor.